We're here in Randolph, Vermont, where a group of high school girls is facing backlash for daring to speak out against a biological male using their locker room.
The school system is failing the volleyball girls. They are putting the trans students' needs above ours because it is one person against the 14 other on the team.
I sat down with some of these girls, and they tell me that they bear no ill will towards this trans-identifying student. But they don't understand why they have to share a locker room with a biological male.
This video is brought to you by The Officer Tatum Store. The Officer Tatum Store. Ladies and gentlemen, we got 25% off the entire store. You don't need a discount code. Just go buy some on the store. Now, you can't get a discount on these sexy hats. You can still buy it full price, but everything else on the store, 25% off, 24-hour flash sale. You better get it now because at midnight, it's gone. Like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you get notifications anytime I go live, make a video. Make sure you still subscribe to the channel. Like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Let's get into this. This story I was reading, and it was #1 on my stack when I was studying for the show. It was #1. And then the policing took precedent when I started reading about some of these police shootings. But this was the very next story that compelled me and angered me earlier this morning. In Randolph, Vermont, you have these young girls who have come out. Young girl named Blake Allen and her teammates are outspoken about a biological boy going into the young girl's locker room. So this boy is now identifying as a girl, wants to play volleyball, and you have young women who are in the locker room, and this is where the complaint started. They're in the locker room, they're getting dressed, they're getting undressed, and this person walks in, and they feel incredibly uncomfortable. And one of the girls reported that this boy that now want to identify as a girl, is now looking at naked young girls in the locker room. I mean, they can see that his eyes and his attention is going to these young girls.
A male was in our locker room when volleyball girls were trying to get changed. After I asked him to leave, he didn't, and later looked over at girls with their shirts off, and it made many people uncomfortable and feel violated. I left as soon as I could in a panic.
I was the first one inside the locker room at the time, and the trans student came in and walked into a separate part of the locker room and went and changed while the other girls were in the main part of the locker room changing as well. As soon as the trans identifying student was done changing, they came out and stood at the entrance of the locker room for a little bit. A lot of the girls were changing in their sports bras and stuff. A lot of us stated, like, can you please get out? We're changing, we don't feel comfortable with you in here. After a little while, the student did leave, but it took a little bit for the student to leave, and a lot of us were not comfortable.
Superintendent quoted another student saying that nobody was changing when the trans-identifying student.
That's not true.
That's not true.
No. A lot of the girls were changing, actually.
And when you say they were changing, does it mean like they had their shirts off, they were putting they were in their underwear?
Everyone was at like different points of changing. Some girls were already dressed, some girls weren't dressed at all, some girls were like in the middle of changing, like.
So why would someone say that they weren't?
I feel like everyone's just trying to twist the story on us and make us look like the bad people in this situation.
This is where it makes me mad. Because when you go through and read it, the district don't care. The district is now looking at the young girls as if they're the problem because they're not inclusive enough. The guy has a wing. He got a wang. Like, why would young girls feel comfortable with this boy in there pulling his junk out? I just don't understand. You know, it gets creepy, it gets stupid, it gets weird. I'm sick of it. Just like when they had these football players that say, listen, let me just explain like this. When you play football, if you gay, don't say nothing. You should shut your mouth if you're in a male locker room and you gay. Why should you shut your mouth, Brandon? Because you got other men in there naked. Bro, you ain't attracted to these men? And how uncomfortable would I feel knowing my brother next to me looking at my stuff when I'm changing my clothes, and I'm thinking, look, he thinking about sleeping with me. He ain't just like the other boys popping each other with the towel having fun. Homeboy looking at my Johnson because he's intrigued. That's a problem, bro. We supposed to be playing football together. That's just like if you had a girl. This is like I went into a softball locker room, and I'm like, nah, I'm totally fine with these naked women in front of me. Come on, man. You think these women ain't gonna feel uncomfortable? Ain't nowhere in the world that I say I wasn't attracted to him. And I'm in the locker room and they naked every day. But you know, the world want to be so soft and wimpish that we can't keep it real and tell the truth. If you like men, just keep it to yourself, bro, when you're in the locker room. Just like when young women, you like women, you attracted to young women, keep it to yourself. Because nobody want to feel uncomfortable in the locker room getting naked because they think you looking at them. It's the same thing with trans kids. The kid running there with a penis. And then what is he supposed to do? When he pull his drawers off, just like the girls are when they get in taking a shower, he got a Johnson. That's why do young girls have to be exposed to that? Now, let me just tell you this. Now, if he didn't identify as a girl and he pulled his pants down, he would be going to jail. That'll be sexual harassment. That'll be exposing yourself, indecent exposure. But just because you identify as a girl, you can pull your pants down and the girl's supposed to feel like that's totally fine. They going too far. It's one person. Have them change in another locker room. And he could join the team outside of them getting naked. Because, it's such an ambiguous situation because just because you trans don't mean you don't like women. The little boy can say, I identify as a girl, but I still like girls. And he's in heaven. He's in a locker room full of naked girls. And he still like girls. Just because he trans don't mean he don't like girls. We need to get that stuff out of the locker room, man. If you're confused about your sexuality, get him another locker room to change in, and then y'all can go play volleyball as a team if you just insist. But I'm sick of it, man. Parents are sick of this stuff. And it's funny because a part of me is like, man, should I be saying this? But in reality, it's like, why can't we be honest about how we feel about these things? I know I'm not the only one talking about this. People are afraid to say the stuff that I'm saying. And if nobody's going to say this stuff, then, what are we doing? We were just in a break. We were talking about, players being gay in the locker room. And I'm comparing this to the young women that have to be, these young girls that have to be exposed, 14-year-old girls that have to be exposed to a transgender boy, biological boy, coming into the locker room. And they feel uncomfortable. It's not abnormal for them to feel uncomfortable. Because it ain't like the boy come up and say, you know what, I'm a girl. I mean, I feel like a girl, and I'm also attracted to men. So, hey, you guys have lucked out. It's like the dude coming in there, he may get aroused by these women, these young girls. How's that fair? No kid should be exposed to genitalia from the opposite sex, especially outside of their, they can't control it. They should not be exposed to male genitalia at a 14-year-old. How do you know the parents are like, I don't want her to see what a penis look like? And the little kid going in there looking at women naked. Come on, man. And the kid may not be weird, but can't you understand how young women may feel weird about that? And that's the reason why I'm talking about the locker room thing. I don't care what y'all saying, man. Not one man wanna know that his partner in the locker room, is thinking dirty thoughts about him. It's uncomfortable, man. It is uncomfortable. And in this world of there's no protection for anybody outside the LGBTQ, they act like it's a fantasy. Like I said in the thing, you go and you sit. I mean, I just say as an adult, you telling me you go to a women's soccer team and you get to go sit in the locker room and watch them every single day while and you get to go in the shower with them. And you a grown man. You telling me you ain't gonna look at one of them in there and be like, man, oh my God, that woman's so fine. Look at her body. You telling me you're not gonna do that one time in your mind only because you're in the opposite sex locker room? Shut up. Quit lying to yourself. It's the same thing about gay men in the male locker room. You think them gay men, listen, you got men that they're like the cream of the crop of society. They work out every single day. You got a variety of different males in the locker room. Some that have physique like goddesses. Some dudes fat, skinny. I mean, you got the whole plethora. If you're attracted to men, you got every single man every type of man in the locker room. In there working out, lifting weights every day, in the best shape of your life. You got men that are in the top shape of their life. And you telling me you attracted to men and you in the men locker room and you ain't attracted to none of them dudes in there. Ain't not one of them got you thinking in your mind that you want to take them home. Quit lying to yourself. This is why men don't want the people in the locker room like that. Bro, you messing up the vibe up in here. None of us is thinking freaky deaky with our homeboys. We talking trash and we having fun. We don't need that in there. So if you feeling like that, just keep it to yourself, bro. What we don't know ain't gonna hurt us. when I was playing college football, there were some gay dudes. I knew some dudes who were gay, man. You like, man, that dude gay. And you never seen him around girl. He only got girlfriend. That dude probably gay. But at the end of the day, he ain't out there putting it out in the streets, and so nobody really worried about it. But you know, if some NFL player came out and said what I just said right now, they'd be trying to cancel him and crying and he's homophobic. Let's just keep it real with each other. They can keep it real. They can say how they feel. Why can't we say how we feel? And in no way am I discriminating against anybody because I don't give a care. But at the end of the day, you got the way you feel and other people have the way they feel. And if you want people to respect you, how about you respect how other people feel? It's really that simple. Hold the phone. I'll be back after the break.